During the 19th century, at least 5 million men, women, and children emigrated from Ireland to the United States. Get that, 5 million Irish-born people emigrated to the United States in the 19th century. By 1890, the Irish-born population in the United States of America was around 2 million. And if you add to that the second generation born here of Irish parents, and Irish America totaled nearly 5 million people in 1890. That's 13% of the entire population of America. The Irish have a very well-earned reputation for their love of music, and the Irish American population was an important market for songwriters and entertainers. As I said a moment ago, I love to encounter surprises in my research, and I loved discovering the fact that some of the songs that I thought were ancient, traditional, beloved Irish ballads were actually written by Americans to be performed in America to Irish immigrants. And one of the most famous songwriters and performers of Irish American music was an American-born man named Chauncey Olcott. Chauncey was born in Buffalo in 1858. His grandparents had immigrated to the United States from Ireland. And in fact, when Chauncey was a boy, his Irish grandmother lived with the family, and so he was steeped in Irish tradition and Irish lore. He was a dapper fellow with a very beautiful tenor voice. In 1880s, he went to England to study singing, and there he began a career on the stage. When he came back to the United States, he became an enormous musical star. There are early recordings of Chauncey. If you know where to look, you can find these recordings online, recordings of him singing his own music. He wrote songs, he wrote the lyrics, he wrote the music, he wrote shows and produced them on the New York stage for him to star in. His career flourished from the 1880s to the 1920s, and here is one of his most famous songs, written by Chauncey for a show that he produced and starred in himself in the early 1890s in New York City. In the show, Chauncey's character has met a young woman. He's fallen in love with her, but she doesn't know that yet. However, she gave him a rose. And like all true romantics, like all tenors, he puts the rose in his pocket and saves it as a precious memento. The rose has long since died, it's lost its color, it's drooped and dead and pitiful, but he still thinks it's the most beautiful thing in the whole world. He hopes that someday she will love him back. And meanwhile, in honor of the flower that she gave him, he has nicknamed her, what's your guess? My Wild Irish Rose. Was written by Chauncey Olcott of Buffalo, New York, and first performed in New York City in the early 1890s. Here is My Wild Irish Rose, written by the great American songwriter, Chauncey Olcott. Chauncey's not here, but he would want me to be in tune for his One of my best friends is a German conductor, and he says, we have to be the attorney for the composer. We have to convince the audience that what the composer wrote is worth listening to. So I will do that here with Chauncey's music. If you listen, I sing you a sweet little song of a flower that's now drooped and dead, yet dearer to me, yes, than all other blooms, though each holds aloft its proud head. 'Twas given to me by a girl that I know, since we've met I have known no repose. She is dearer by far than the world's brightest star, and I call her my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose. They may sing of their roses which by other names would smell just as sweetly, they say, But I know that my rose would never consent to have that sweet name taken away. Her glances are shy whene'er I pass by the bower where my true love grows. And my one wish has been that someday I might win the heart of my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare to my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. And someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.